on behalf of Pan-African Forum Limited and Associates to place before the African Union Commission a formal submission on the failure of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to deposit the Article 34, subsection 6 declaration, having signed and ratified to the protocols and the treaty of the setting up of the African Court on Human and People's Rights in Arusha. It is a moment for me, as a person who has struggled all along,
please share the life for
that as we see Nigeria abduct people,
you're welcome,
and as we see the country of Nigeria fall to pieces, we watch abduction, terrorists picking up girls, banditry, hostage, kidnap. We have kept quiet. We have listened, we have watched. With a population of 250 million people, Africa has watched. Africa has neglected to take this step, yet this was a protocol that was endorsed by the African Union itself, by Organization of African Unity itself, and other member states. It is sad, therefore, that today, as we see people who have been killed, maimed, kidnapped, civil strife inside Nigeria, a state falling to pieces, the center cannot hold. The leadership of Buhari did its part to fracture the center of this nation, a great nation in Africa, with the potential to help the very African people, has failed to give an example as a big power, a superpower on the continent of Africa. I have submitted this application before the chairperson of and the AU Chair Commission for them to invoke the articles and take action to the same in order to realize the formation of the African Court on Human and People's Rights, to avoid our people being shipped, to avoid our continent looking at the International Criminal Court as the only alternative. Yet we have mechanisms to stop Africans being exported across to the Netherlands, to give Netherlands more money, to give them more employment, because there are people working in those courts, and yet we want more and more youth on this continent to work on the continent, more lawyers, more professionals, experts, to have our own court that can sentence people, that can look at our big differences. We have neglected Article 34C, Section 6. Therefore, I've taken the first step to take Nigeria to court. I want to invoke procedurally this journey. This submission, therefore, is made in the interest of advancing foundational principles of the African Union, namely the promotion of human rights across irrespective and the respect of rule of law, access to justice to all African people on their own continent. My Pan-Africanism is different from those who talk, shout, academics who make noise, make statements that I'm not in that theater. I am in a practical theater to use the tools of engagement, the tools of a strategic management of this continent. It concerns the continued failure of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, a huge state with 250 million people. Every day you open up your TV, you see the people's cry. Abduction, killings, shootings, slaughter, defilement, terrorists. Therefore, Article 34, subsection 6 of the Protocol, the African Charter of the Establishment of the African Court on Human and People's Rights, called AFCHPR, this has been defied, despite the fact that Nigeria ratified the treaty. Ladies and gentlemen, the Pan-African Forum and Associates, Limited and Associates, in line with this mission to uphold justice, democracy, dignity for the African peoples, both in Nigeria, from north to east, west to south, The suffering masses of this great nation have taken this respectfully, called on the African Union Commission to treat this matter as urgent and to take appropriate institutional action in line with AU legal norms and values, to ask Nigeria as to why people are being killed.
Yes.
People are being killed in Nigeria, slaughtered, abducted, while we are watching. People are disappearing. Terrorists are forming up groups. Terror cells have sprung up. Fulani herders are taking over this country with 20 million cattle, roaming the whole country. From North Sahara Desert to South Atlantic Ocean. They want to take over this country. One dominant feature among this is the killings, the slaughter, the defilement, the rape, the earth-scorched policy that Nigeria is facing. That Nigeria and the Nigerian citizens are undergoing in Benue State, 200 people slaughtered, maimed in cold blood. We are keeping quiet. Not me. Therefore, the legal framework and obligation of the African Court Protocol 1998 was adopted by the OAU and continued under AU, established and it established a judicial organ that will try crimes of this nature. And the Human Charter on Human and People's Rights, Article 5, subsection 3 is very clear. The protocol enables individuals like me, and NGOs and other agencies to directly approach the court.
Okay.
If that country has submitted the instruments under Article 34(6). Why, therefore, I'm asking the Federal Republic of Nigeria that ratified the protocol has refused for 20 years, over 20 years, not to deposit this crucial declaration. I want anyone who has got the knowledge to answer me. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm doing this for humanity. And let me go in history. Nigeria is not my country. But Nigeria is an African country that would have made us proud if we put it back in order. The weakening of constitutional continental justice system has begun with Nigeria. Nigeria continued to fail as a state, a superpower with 250 million people. Please. Has failed to place these documents before the court. Remember, we have 11 judges. And I want to take this opportunity to congratulate my comrade, my dear friend, brother from Mali, Sako, for having taken over as the presiding president. And hopefully, with you at the helm, we are going to change Africa through this court, that no African should be shipped to International Criminal Court, of which America does not subscribe to, but America harasses, arrests, abates to arrest the people and take them there. C. Violation of AU normative commitments. Nigeria's refusal contradicts the African Union commitment to the Charter of Democracy, Dignity, Election Governance, the Constitutive Act of AU, and Agenda 2063, aspiration for a just rights respecting Africa. Therefore, it has violated. 4. Political and moral responsibility. As Africa's most populous country and a key contributor to continental peace and governance frameworks, Nigeria bears a unique responsibility. It cannot advocate for African solutions for African problems, yet while rejecting African legal accountability for African mechanisms. Mark that point. 5. Our recommendations are the following. That the Pan-African Forum respectfully urges the African Union Commission President, the chairperson, Ambassador, His Honorable Mahmoud Yusuf Ali, to immediately, and I repeat, immediately, because now we are going to ask the legal department to interpret, to tell me why 11 judges are seated in Arusha doing nothing. If you don't tell me that, I'm going to go further. I have now the way. Why should we be paying for 11 judges? when Nigeria cannot come to court? Why? Why are we paying taxes? Why are we giving donation to African Union? When Tinubu cannot come to court, when Tinubu cannot be answerable to this court, why? When Buhari goes around to kidnap, when the European Union that is funding the Nigerian rogue system is abducting people, detaining people in Finland, in Norway, in other places, why should we keep quiet? I have not kept quiet. Recommendations. I will formally want to formally notify and engage Nigeria, the AU, and I request the AU through its legal system to request the government of Nigeria to immediately surrender the declaration and Article 34(6) declaration enabling the access to the court for its citizens and the civil society and the individuals who have been traumatized, slaughtered, killed, Fulani herdsmen coming to take over their farms. We need help here. And that help must come now, not tomorrow, now, today. 2,
please share the life.
Include AU legal and
share the life, please.
Ministerial reporting to go to Nigeria to find out, ensure Nigeria's non-deposit is flagged in upcoming AU legal compliance reports, where I have not seen any report. Mr. Bankole has been hiding these reports. Time has come, Mr. Bankole have been working. I've got everything from your own people in AU. They have given me every information. And I want to thank my researchers, my friends, my comrades. Thank you very much. Continue doing the good job. Feed me with this information. I want to flow and clean African Union. I want to clean this. I want to bring a better African Union that can speak for the people of Africa, not speak for the interests of the French.
Yes.
Fellow countrymen, fellow continent citizens, global citizens, those in the diaspora, it is very disheartening. The strength of enforcement of mechanisms. I want to recommend to the AU Assembly and the relevant police organs to consider compliance mechanisms or soft sanctions for state parties like Nigeria that fail to implement judicial and treaty commitments. It's sad. When we want to go and accuse people in the ICC, I'm doing this to help some people on the continent who run around, who don't know. They run everything that happens. They want to run to ICC. No. We got our independence. We don't need to run to ICC. We need to run to Arusha. We need to run to Addis Ababa. We need to run to ECOWAS. We need to run to SADC, South Africa. We can't create a parliament and the parliament is useless. Why do we send our MPs to South Africa? I'm doing this radically to change the situation. Africa must stand. I am not bad. Call me anything, but I'm not going to give up. I'm not fighting anybody by gun. The last I handled a gun was a long time ago, when I was fighting Idi Amin and other people. I am using the brains to educate Africa that this is the route to go. The issue of public communique. The AUC, African Commission, AUC, should issue a clear communique. And I want to see it in black and white. Because if you don't do this, the next action I'm coming, we shall hear your cases without you.
Did you get that?
And that is Nigeria, be careful.
Yeah.
I'm on you. Because you are the biggest country in Africa. We don't need you in Africa to create any problem for us. We need you to help us so that other people can see you are doing something very important. It is sad, therefore, to have very serious interactions. It is sad, therefore, to have very, very serious countries like Nigeria to fail us. Nigeria is a shame to Africa.
Nigeria is a shame. 600
people die in a flood. This place, a country with resources consumed by corruption, by luxury, no medicine. The head of state flies to France because in Britain we are blocked. Flies to France to get medical treatment. Yet Panadols are missing in hospitals in Nigeria. The African court, therefore, in conclusion of Schuman and the people's rights, I want to say, and I state here categorically, that the African Court on Human and the People's Right was not created as a symbolic institution, but a living judicial mechanism with 11 judges to serve Africans. Therefore, I conclude by saying, if citizens of Nigeria, the largest democracy on the continent, cannot access this court, cannot access justice, then the integrity of African Union human rights systems is at risk. We can't say we created the African Union for this type of mess. This is a critical moment for the African Union Commission to act with clarity, courage, and consistency. I remain available for further dialogue and legal engagement on this matter. I give only 4 days for reply.
4 days.
Failure, I will move because I have already got what to do, where to do it, how to do it. I'll move across to stage the last staging point. I remain the chairman, founder of Pan-African Forum Limited and Associates. You can reach me on africastrategy@hotmail.com if you have anything to write. This statement issued in Arusha, Tanzania on 1st of July 2025. The year of our Lord. Thank you. God bless you. And I want to be very candid that these countries have got a habit of conniving with states like Finland, Norway, in Africa, who come and preach human rights in their countries, but they come to Africa, ignore the human rights that are being abused in the African continent. Finland is dealing with Nigeria to obtain gas, to obtain oil contracts, construction of roads, infrastructure, but it is not bothering to tell the world under the European law, which again, Article 41 of the European Convention and the Universal Suffrage law that touches human rights, the right of explaining to a court that there is a conflict that is killing people. They have not done it. I want to thank you and thank all of you who have stood by me. I will pro bono on a voluntary basis struggle on. Those who want to help me, help me. My contributions are very clear. Every contribution of yours will be accounted for. My PayPal is very available. My journey I am on, I will put it here so that you can help if possible. If you can't help still, I'll go on until I come to a conclusion to make sure that there is accountability and restore accountability. Safeguard the interest of the people. If the people want a referendum, therefore, give them the referendum, the right to exist or coexist while you block them. That's what I've done, and I will continue to fight for those rights. I thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Yeah, I saw somebody wrote something. Let me check. Okay, T. McDonald. You said, I expect the international community to place sanctions to Nigeria and government. Yes, now, they have placed sanctions on Nigeria now, but you know, Nigeria is a very corrupt and stubborn country. Imagine, they were sued in African court, but they refused to go there and answer to the court. That's why this man have given them 4 days ultimatum to reply, else he will move to the final stage. So, please just share this live.
Because so far, no strong evidence has been adduced by the prosecution against Nnamdi Kanu. Look at it. The prosecution, or one of their prosecution witnesses, I think Mr. BBB or so, all the things they asked him was saying no. At a point, the the judge or Justice almost got angry and was reprimanding them that if they don't have any matter to, they should stop coming and all that. It happened. So there was nothing concrete. I was thinking they are going to present a cache of arms stockpiled by Nnamdi Kanu somewhere. Because how can you be a terrorist without gun, Mr. Okoro? Mention anywhere in the world where you see terrorists without a single, not even cutlass with them.
You are a lawyer. What about inciting people? Because they also said it was inciting people.
What are you talking about? Inciting in what way? Hold on.
They recovered radio Biafra equipment from him.
Hold on, please. That is not the one of the hallmark of a terrorist. Politicians do incite people. True of us. Politicians. Were you not here when somebody told you that God told him that they should kill Tinubu's wife, Oluremi, that she's an infidel? Did it not happen in this country? That man was not even arrested, not to talk of questioning. What does that tell you? That one is even worse. The man who said it, Sheikh Tenshi. So when you are talking of incitement, I don't know what you people are talking about. That is not the hallmark. That's not the prescription of a terrorist. Terrorists mean you are heavily armed, killing people, taking up territories, destroying villages and all that.
The terrorists also attack soft targets deliberately.
Is that what?
They deliberately attack soft targets.
They don't look, as long as they're terrorists.
Because this affection between the government and the people.
Listen very well. A terrorist is a terrorist. And there are prescriptions. That's why no nation in the whole world has seen Nnamdi Kanu as a terrorist or IPOB as a terrorist group. Because they know how to describe a terrorist or terrorist organization. They know. This thing that Killer Fulani herdsmen are doing is a perfect description of terrorism. Perfect description. But the federal government of Nigeria don't want to see that. They are still calling it a farmer header class. Do they need all the forest, all the land in the whole of Nigeria to do their business? If it is farmer header clash, no, tell me. You mean they don't have a place? You know, you had when Niger State to call them, come. If you are looking for land, we have more than enough. Kano State to call them, come, we have more than enough. Did they listen? They said no. So if it is land they are looking for, the states have promised them, come and take as much as you like a Niger State. Niger State has the size of the whole of Southwest.
Okay.
So why couldn't they go there if they are looking for land? If they are looking for land. I'm talking of a land that is twice the size of Lagos State. You can get it in Niger State, and yet there's vast area still left. 76,000.
Barrister, we are left with just 1 minute. Now, on the 18th of July, the prosecution and the defense will make their final addresses. What do you expect?
I cannot speak to them. The fact is that they have closed their case, Abi. Yes. The procedure and processes are going on fine.
Okay.
But from the look of things, it looks like the federal government have nothing against Nnamdi Kanu.
Okay. So,
yes.
So they are likely to let him go.
Well, is it not obvious? Is it not obvious? When they don't have any strong evidence against him, I told you here. If they have come out and said, look, it was Nnamdi Kanu, the whole of one part of Imo State, he occupied it, he killed every people, he did this, he did, that he made the broadcast. Who told you?
Okay.
So this other one that are killing in Benue, it was Nnamdi Kanu that incited them too, Abi. Mr. Okoro, it was Nnamdi Kanu. He was the one that incited them. Why didn't they say that?
Well, Barrister, July 18th is about a month away from today, so let's see what goes on before then and on that day. This will be a good place to anchor this conversation.